Hello students, this channel is only for the CLAT students because as a student of CLAT, you're taking the CLAT examination, therefore you need to have only the elementary basic understanding of law, nothing more. You may ask me, sir, why? Because you're not even a student of law. Once you become a student of law after passing the CLAT examination fairly well, then you need a deeper understanding of the same topics. As you move on across the semesters and finally you graduate and you become a lawyer, whether in practice or a corporate side, or you're the teaching or in a job or you're judiciary, then you need the very finer or the finest understandings of law, the judgments, how they are applied, how the things were developed or it has developed across the times, how it is applied now. So the various things would be on the last stage. The first stage is concerned, you need not know all these things. You just need to start up, understand the basics, take the examination, apply your mind, and that too in a short span of time. Today we start with, therefore, without taking much time, we start with the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023, as you all know. Now, take a bare act. Why I say you take a bare act is that it's crisp, it's easy to understand, and comfortable to follow at your age or at any age whatsoever. Now today for the BNS we'll take, follow here very carefully, for the BNS 2023 we'll take the chapter 17, we'll take chapter 17, and that's of offenses against property. Now, BNS 2023, chapter 17 of offenses against property. There are a few offenses here. We'll take only four for this video. Now, what are those four? We'll take theft, extortion, robbery, and dacoity, right? Don't go by my handwriting, try to understand what I'm trying to say, right? So far as theft is concerned, we'll have a person and we'll have another person. This person has a movable property in his possession. So this person has a movable property, M we have written, in his possession, and this person dishonestly, he thinks dishonestly and without consent of this person, he wants to take this movable property out of his possession. But this person dishonestly, it's in his mind, without consent of this person, wants to take the movable property out of his possession. If these conditions are satisfied, then he has committed theft. Am I clear? Then he has committed theft. Example. Now one thing more. An animal would be a movable property. Okay. Now let's give an example. I'll take it from the book right away. Now there's a say tree on his ground, and this fellow dishonestly, with the intention of taking the tree out of his possession, he cuts the tree, right? He cuts down the tree. So the moment he severs the tree, he has cut it down, he has committed theft, right? Similarly, if he has a dog in his possession, not chained to, it is in his possession, and he has biscuits in his pocket. He lures the dog to follow him, right? And the dog starts moving to follow him. Now he has a dishonest intention to take it away. He has caused theft, the offense of theft. He has committed the offense of theft. So whatever illustration is put to you, you try to apply this concept of the person dishonestly without consent, then taking out from the possession, and all these things, if they satisfy, it's a theft. Now we talk about extortion. Now I've not talked about the sections though. We'll talk about. Now extortion would come. Let me get the exact section for you. Yeah. Now in this situation, if our friend, he puts any person or any other person known to him, say, correct, in fear of injury. If he puts another person in fear of injury and thereby dishonestly causes him to deliver some property or valuable security. Now he puts this person or some other person known to him in fear of injury and causes this person to deliver property or deliver valuable security to, let's call him A, let's call him B, let's call him B1, and let's call this person, another person, C. Now he puts fear of injury to this person or some other person and thereby causes him dishonestly, right, of course, to deliver property or deliver valuable security to himself, A, or to C. Then this one would be extortion. Am I clear with the concept? This is theft, this is extortion, right? Let me put it this way. This is theft, this is extortion. Alright. So what's the basic difference? Insofar as theft is concerned, there is no fear of injury. There are, in cases when you go deep as a student of law, you'll come across things. What if a man comes into the dishonest intention of taking some property out of, movable property out of your possession, but he carries a gun, that if you catch him, he'll shoot. So these are situations which you need to know as a student of law. For right now, for CLAT student, this is the fundamental concept, right? That he, with a dishonestly, he thinks, and without consent, he tries to get a property, that's a movable property, out of the possession of this person, he has committed theft. Now, if this fellow puts fear of injury to this person or to some other person and then causes him to dishonestly deliver property or valuable security to himself or some other person, he has committed extortion. Example, he calls him up and says, I have taken your child. You give me so and so, so much amount of money. And out of fear of injury to this person, he delivers some property, money, whatever. So now he has caused extortion. Now comes the concept of robbery. When I talk about the concept of robbery, I must tell you, theft also is robbery and extortion also is robbery. It depends how and when it becomes robbery. Let me take out the section. I'll put it in simpler terms for you. Now when theft becomes robbery when in the process of committing theft, before, during or after, whatever, in the process of committing theft, if this fellow he causes or attempts to cause this fellow, he causes or attempts to cause to this person, or he attempts to put the language which is given or attempts to put in fear. He causes or attempts to cause, or he tries to put in fear this person of what? Of three things, either of three things. Of these are, for this it will be death, hurt and wrongful restraint. Now death you know, hurt you know, the legal parameters will be different, but you have an idea. Now wrongful restraint is, this is a person, if I hold this person tight and I don't let him go, his freedom is curtailed, I've restrained him, this is wrongful restraint, right? But if I lock him up in a room, that's wrongful confinement, understood? So when he causes or attempts to cause death, hurt or wrongful restraint to a person for committing theft, or puts the person in fear of, now this would be again same, only the word would be instant death, hurt or wrongful restraint. In this case it will be instant, if you, the fear, and the theft is caused, then theft becomes robbery. So when a person commits a theft by causing or attempting to cause, to put this person in fear of death, hurt or wrongful restraint, or by putting him in fear of instant death, hurt or wrongful restraint, he has committed robbery. Clear? Okay. Now when extortion becomes robbery, now for theft to become robbery, he need not be present in front of the person or near the person. This is the first concept. But when extortion becomes robbery, the understand is, this person is present near this person, correct? And he commits the extortion by putting him the fear of him instant death, hurt, wrongful restraint to this one or any other person he knows. Now when the extortion is committed, it becomes, it's pretty hard, it becomes robbery. So this is when extortion becomes robbery, and this is when theft becomes robbery. Alright? See, the concept is again clear. Well, let's finish it up. So this would be robbery. This is robbery. This is robbery. And lastly, I just sum it up. If robbery is committed by 5 or more persons, it becomes dacoity. Am I clear with the concept? If robbery is committed by 5 or more persons, it becomes dacoity. Now, what do we understand from here? We have taken the basic concept of theft, extortion, robbery and dacoity. In all these things, we have a friend and the victim, right? He has a dishonest intention, dishonestly, and without consent of this person, tries to get a movable property out of his possession, be it an animal, be it a book, be it a tree, whatsoever. And this act, when he causes, when he does, he's said to commit theft. Now when he does so by putting fear of injury to this person or someone known to him or his child, a friend, whatsoever maybe, and thereby induces him to deliver property, dishonestly of course, or deliver valuable security to this same person or any other person, A or C as I've given, he causes extortion, right? Now theft becomes robbery and extortion also becomes robbery. Theft becomes robbery when a friend causes or attempts to cause to this person death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or puts in fear of instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint. Okay, and then takes the property out. This is called robbery. But extortion becomes robbery when he is present near the person. Here he did not be present in robbery. When theft becomes robbery, he did not be present. When extortion becomes robbery, he is present near the person and he puts the person or any other person of his, any other person close to him, fear of instant death, hurt, and wrongful restraint, and thereby commits extortion. Then the offense committed is robbery. And when robbery is committed by 5 or more persons, it's called dacoity. Now, you have a look at the chart, zoom it up, or take a shot, whatever you do. This is the basic for theft, extortion, robbery, and dacoity. In the next classes, we'll go about few more offenses about the category offenses against property. If you have got the chart right, you get the questions right. A little slow maybe if you say so, but get the concepts correct and follow a bare act. We'll do the illustrations as well, but when time comes. For now, the charts. Hard.